Hello guys, my name is Raza Masood. Today we will discuss about the topic net present value. Friends, I just want to explain that net present value is basically a, a method to select a project. Basically is a method. It is a technique for project selection process. Whenever we have to select a project, like for example you have multiple choices available to select a project, so the senior management can use several techniques to select a project, out of which one technique is net present value. So it is a technique which is basically used by the senior management to select a project. For example, if you have two projects, project A and project B, so you can use this methodology to select a project. Selection means that you will go for that project, like you will put resources on that project, you will put time on that project, you will put cost on that project, so to complete that project. So this is a technique of project selection method. Here this is a very important point, that this is a project selection method. So why a project manager needs to know about that? Because see, everyone knows that project manager doesn't involve in the project selection approach or project selection process. So why project manager needs to know about this technique? This is a very good question. Let me tell you that basically a selection process is basically done by the senior management, but the project manager should know that on what basis the project is selected, and what is the criteria, what is the success criteria, what should be the outcome of that project, and what is the acceptance criteria of that project. That means that he should know that on what basis this project is selected. This is the approach. Here I just also want to tell you that the whole video which I am making right now is basically with the concept of PMP exam. The students who are basically studying for PMP exam, and they are interested to give the PMP exam in the near future. So this video is basically I'm making for specifically for those students. I want that they should learn from this video, who are basically studying the PMP exam, project management body of knowledge. So let's start our tutorial. Before starting this tutorial, I would request that please subscribe to my channel and also click on the bell option, so that I can notify you whenever my new video came. So what is basically a net present value? Net present value, if we see from the definition, it is the present value of the total benefits, income or revenue minus the cost over many time periods. Friends, this is just basically a definition. Just remember these three words: net present value. Net means what is basically remaining after cutting all your expenses, all your costs. What is the net present value? Present means today, like what is the current present value of your project after cutting all your expenses, all your costs. What is that today's cost? What is cost which is in today's, in it is in your hand? So this is called the net present value. The cost which is in your hand after cutting every expense, every cost which is remains in your hand, so that is called the net present value. Okay, so by exam point of view, you don't need to calculate the net present value. You can easily find the formula of net present value from Google. I just want to inform you that you just need to know the methodology, and also remember one thing, that the project which has highest net present value, we should select that project. Remember one thing, in the exam you don't need to calculate the net present value, so you don't need to remember the formula. You just remember one thing in the exam, that you should select the project which is having the highest net present value. Let me give you a question, so you can just relate this definition from this question. An organization has two projects from which to choose. Project A will take 3 years to complete, and has an NPV of $45,000. Project B will take 6 years to complete and has an NPV of $85,000. Which is one is better investment? See, NPV 45,000, NPV 85,000. The project A is taking 3 years and project B is taking 6 years. But see, which one is the greater one? 45,000, 85,000. 85,000 is the greater. So we will select the project B. Here it is very important point another is that we will not see the number of time period, number of years we will not consider. Why? Because number of time periods is basically already in account at the time of calculation of NPV at the formula through which we calculate the NPV. So number of time periods is already included in that, so we don't need to consider, we don't need to relate the number of time period, we just consider this amount of NPV. Which one is the greater, we will select that one. Here 85,000 is the greater value, so we will select the project B here. So remember, from the exam point of view, just remember one thing, the greater NPV value will always be selected as a project. The smaller will not select. And also you don't need to calculate the NPV, so you don't need to remember exactly the formula of NPV calculation. You just remember this approach, that the greater value of NPV will always be selected. Here project B is selected because it has a greater value of 85,000, which is greater than 45,000, and we will not consider the number of time period because it is already in account of calculation of NPV. So guys, that's all from my side. I hope you like this video. I would request to please subscribe to my channel and also click on the bell option so that you can be notified whenever my new video came. And also I would request that if you want from me to make some other videos of project management, so I would love to make that. And please be in touch with me, please comment on that video, please share it with your friends and colleagues. And if you have any question related to NPV or net present value, I love to answer your question. So thank you, thanks a lot for your time, and thanks for watching this video. That's all from my side, and thanks a lot.